Fast forward, yini komo ewo channel so high GH Politics Avenue podcast or set training because making headlines. And ye jemre ni di bi exomo ewo ha di mi ahon brak semu oni amestra ko say yenko yensemu. Na aya na wetimi subscribe to the channel e di amame. Na aye plaintiff Addo Boahene kwabena ene omukopie mu ewo court na ni lawyer akasa na nsemo okanyina na say wose I am disappointed but not discouraged. A counselor for a year kwabena Addo Boahene ena kasa no Atta na o kire say Supreme Court ene omatimi dismiss a application file ye to prohibit trial judges no eno ho nsem ena papa yi agiemre na ohwi edigu eye pono so after ene court proceedings no nyemo nwura mu ne hwe nsem no mu nkyeremu pa aha AGH Politics Avenue me that's why agiemre ewo ha yenko nsem nim.
Start from the Supreme Court because it has unanimously dismissed a petition as filed by lawyers of Kwabena Addo Boahene seeking to stop the trial judge from proceeding with the hearing of the case. Remember that after many things that lawyers of Mr. Addo Boahene have been fighting include a full disclosure of evidence and documents the AG is going to be using against their clients. The High Court had dismissed their claim and they sought to petition the Supreme Court to hold the trial judge from proceeding with the trial until all of their concerns have been so addressed. But the Supreme Court has unanimously dismissed that application. Let's take you to the courts right now, where Lord Edwasari is stationed to get a bit more in terms of the details. Lord, thank you very much for joining us. Talk to us about, first off, the details of this petition and then the basis upon which the court unanimously dismissed it.
Right, Marina. And so lawyers for the former National Signals Bureau director, led by Samuel Atta, they had filed the application to prohibit the trial judge in the person of Justice John Eugene Nyante from continuous hearing of their trial. Now, they indicated or alleged bias against the presiding judge. Now, this allegation of bias was based on 4 grounds, and they indicated that, for example, the trial judge blocked exculpatory evidence from being disclosed by the prosecution. And Moina, you mentioned that earlier. Now, at the last time the case was in court, lawyers of Addo Boahene had indicated that some transactions that the prosecution had disclosed had some gaps in them. According to them, the prosecution had intentionally removed certain portion of this document from the entire disclosures, and that portion they claimed would have helped Kwabena Addo Boahene and his wife's case, for which reason they wanted the court to order them to disclose those portions. Now, again, they indicated that upon dismissal of the application for disclosure, the trial judge indicated that that evidence or that document that they were asking to be disclosed will not in any way affect the case. Now, some Atta argue that this pronouncement by the trial judge meant that he was being prejudicial, because how do you say the case will not help our case when you've not made us actually go through that document and put it before the court? Again, another case of alleged bias was that they indicated that, for example, the last time, again, when the case was called, the trial judge indicated that they can't hear the cases on a daily basis based on application from the Deputy Attorney General because his calendar was full. Instead, he would apportion long hours, or in a day, they'll hear a chunk of the case before they progress. So, for example, he indicated that the case will be heard from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. And Marina, somewhere last week when we've been going to court, this has been the case for about on 2 occasions. The case has been heard on this front. And then there was another ground of bias where the defense lawyers indicated that the judge had allowed the prosecution to cajole or stampede his timelines for decision making. So, for example, if the judge made a decision that he was going to make a decision on a certain ruling on the matter within a certain period, the prosecution led by the Deputy Attorney General will say that he should make the decision on an earlier front, and then the judge would comply and then agree with the Deputy Attorney General. These grounds, the defense lawyers indicated that constituted bias and showed that the trial judge had a special interest in the case, which was to the detriment of his clients. And so he was praying the court to, as it were, take notice or take cognizance of these grounds and then agree or prohibit the trial judge from continuously hearing the case. But in defense, the prosecution, or in this case, the Deputy Attorney General, Dr. Justice Clemency, counter-argued, indicating that in the matter regarding the documents that he indicated they had not disclosed everything, they applied for certain disclosures and they disclosed the portions that they required for the case. And so it is wrongful by the defense to say that they intentionally removed certain parts of the document because they did not have those portions that Samuel Atta was alleging that they were withdrawing from the defense. By and large, he indicated that Samuel Atta was misleading the courts and then prayed the courts to dismiss this application. He also indicated that the judge citing the 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. for session of the case was just a suggestion because they could not expedite the trial and hear it on a daily basis. And so he denied the fact that the case was heard from 9 to 12. Now, the panel of justices, which was presided over by Justice Avery Lovelace Johnson, was a 5-member panel, Marina, I should say. She read the ruling and indicated that the application to prohibit the judge was without merit. And again, it did not meet the threshold to make them prohibit the trial judge. And this was the reason why they unanimously dismissed this application to prohibit Justice John Eugene Ante from further hearing the Boahene trial. Now, Marina, you recall that last week, Samuel Atta, in his quest to get the trial judge to adjourn the proceedings for today, pending the determination of today,
dismissed same as well.
Walked out of the premises because he did not get the adjournment. Now, we asked him about it, and today this is the solution. This is what has come out of the court. So he actually addressed that and then gave his thoughts on where he felt about the decision of the Apex Court. We can listen to that now.
I'm disappointed, but not discouraged. We'll see how the case will travel.
How does it feel going back to the same court that you...
It doesn't move me at all. The only persuasion a judge will have is the law. I'm not going to have a banter with him. I'm not going to fight him over anything. I'm just going to project the law. It doesn't move me at all.
Are you looking at appealing against this decision?
Yeah, this is a 5-0, so that is a tall order. You mean review?
Yeah.
That's a tall order. So we'll soldier on.
Lord, let's return to the trial of Kwabena Boahene, which is the subject of this Supreme Court unanimous dismissal. What is the latest on that as well, now that they have to return to that same court, and I heard that question being asked, for proceedings in the matter to continue?
Well, so Marina, indeed, the full decision of the court will be made available on November 5th, according to the Apex Court. Now, back to the High Court, where they're back in court next week. We are expecting that the second prosecution witness, the financial director of the National Signals Bureau, will continue to give her evidence in chief when she's done, and then there will be the cross-examination by the defense. And so this is where we are at on the Kwabena Boahene case, Marina.
Lord, thank you very much for those details. That's my colleague, Lord Asare, with details of the latest from the Supreme Court dismissing the application by lawyers of Kwabena Boahene seeking to prohibit the judge from continuing to hear the matter over allegations of bias. The court says the counsel could not produce or adduce enough evidence to substantiate that claim of bias. Hence, by a 5-0 decision, they dismissed the claim. But let's move away from that. But we're staying on matters relating to the court and the Office of the Attorney General and the Minister for Justice.
The members of our city that has shepherded the city to where we have come this far. Let me continue by also empathizing with Doctor for whatever ordeal he might have suffered in the hands of one policeman, and also add my voice to the police hierarchy, the IGP, that they need to look at the petition and do the needful. As Dr. Zato said, the police are playing a very major role in our society. We can't discount their contribution and all the things that they are doing under very challenging circumstances. And so the least we can do is to encourage and to support them. I didn't hear Doctor generalizing or condemning police people as a whole. I think that he focused on one particular policeman who he believed didn't handle him well, and the fact that the IGP has delayed in working on the petition that is submitted. And so we are all adding our voice that to bring confidence of the public in the police service, it is important that when issues come before your attention, you act expeditiously on them, and that will be very, very important. Roland, Mr. Polafoko, it's an interesting development. A man who went for an elections, party people had confidence in him, they voted for him, he won, he was center affairs of the party, and one flag bearer emerged, and he said he couldn't work with him. And so they used every Machiavellian means available to him, to them, and make sure that he, Polafoko, the chairman, Comrade Japon, the general secretary, and the vice chairman then, what's his name, Sammy Crab, were booted out of the party. They were rendered almost, pardon me, were useless. They were irrelevant to the affairs of the political party for this many years. As if that was not enough, we also had the treatment that was meted to his brother. Stories that were fabricated, and he was thrown in jail for this many years, even after the court has ruled for him to be released. A party that he belongs to, a party that he worked for several years, spent his time, his energy, and his resources. Even that one, they refused to yield the call of the courts. It is taking the NDC administration to respect the decision of the court and acted accordingly. He's a fine gentleman. I remember the first time I met him was when the Circle disaster occurred. And as political parties when they went to 37 hospital to see they were involved. When I shook his hand, my palm almost got buried in his palm. Oh yes, a giant. It's a huge personality. It will be interesting to have a national chairman of a party from the Upper East region, and to have the flag bearer from the Central region, and then that will be a good balance. And so we see how things pans out in the political party. All the persons that we have put, you show on television, who have shown interest in contesting the flag, the national chairmanship of the party. They are all great men by the all standard. If you take Honorable Jaku, he served the party very well. At one time, he was a flag bearer hopeful. I think he contested a number of times. He became the Minister of Energy. Under very dubious circumstances, he was booted out of government. But he has remained faithful to the political party. But Dr. Zato, you're a political analyst and a strategist, and you should see what is about to happen. Instead of you to be crying for the United Party, you should rather look beyond this announcement and try to understand the political nuances. If you don't do that, you'll be in big trouble.
Do you think there's more to it than just Polafoko coming back?
I am surprised he didn't see it. He didn't not see what is happening. How do you mean? And a rather thing to be, saying that the United Party should be crying, they should be wailing. Mr. Polafoko is a strategist. And the people who came together to form the United Party, they are not just mere men. Look at their caliber. Look at the men we are talking about. They understand what it means. And so they really know what they intend to do with Nanado's MPP.
What do you mean by Nanado's MPP? The agenda
is very clear and very obvious. Nanado's MPP is not the MPP that was birthed before the 1992 election, 1993 elections. No. This is not the MPP that we all saw, the Boahene-led MPP, the Akuffo-led MPP. That is not the party that we have today. Those days, even on our university campuses, at a point, it was difficult to associate yourself in another political party but MPP. They were all over the place. The young people, everybody was gravitating towards that party. Today, same cannot be said of that political party. The image so dented, performance in government was so abysmal. People are so shy and so terrible they don't want to even associate and to be attached to that party. Let Mr. Polafoko win the chairmanship.
Will he win?
Let Kennedy Agyapong win the flag bearership. Then you will appreciate the real standing of the party. If it is going to be the UP that will fight the next election, or is the MPP that will fight the next election, it is not for me to provide you with that. Look at it, open your eyes, analyze things closely, then you appreciate what is happening. And I said, Mr. John Boydu, he served the party all these many years, right from the constituency level, all through youth organizer, general secretary, you know, and all that, national organizer of the party. He has all the experience, been there before. Fantastic gentleman. Why not? I have always contested this approach they are using, this bottom-up approach, that it will create problems in future, and every political analyst can come to that conclusion easily. Now, several people are contesting for the flag bearership of the race. And so some way, somehow, the party is divided along those lines. Once the flag bearer emerges, the flag bearer desire and wish would be that only people who support him must be in the party leadership. You understand? So everybody will put himself up to contest election. That they'll start pointing fingers. Oh, this person doesn't like the flag bearer. This person is not the flag bearer's favorite. And so they'll mass up and gang up against the person and make sure the person doesn't win the election. The fellow may have all the skills and abilities and what it takes to be able to mobilize and to help the party. But to the extent that he's tagged not to be a friend or a lover of that particular flag bearer, they will disadvantage him or they don't even give the opportunity. So this is to come up, right from the national to the region to the constituency to, they call it, what do you call it? The lower tier, you call it what? We call it branch. You call it polling station. And so, but we want to see how the experimentation will look like. It's a novelty. We have never seen it before. Let's see how it plays out. But I can only wish Mr. Polafoko all the best. And let me also add my voice in commending him truly and really, since he was, you know, booted out of the party in the way, the manner they did it. There was no occasion I heard him on radio and television, organizing a press conference, condemning the party, saying anything about the party. I think he carried himself very, very well. I have only been saying, and all of us who are politicians, especially the young people, there's something we must realize. Nobody, and I mean nobody, is bigger than the political organization. It is a political organization that gives us the platform, gives us the opportunity to express ourselves and to showcase what we can do. And so to assume on any day that you have become so powerful, you have become so important that you can do without the party and they want to run the party down. History and even recent cases have shown that that cannot be true. The party is powerful, the party is bigger, and all of us must succumb and respect the party. I've always maintained, I may disagree with happenings in my party, but it's not in my place to take to the television, to take to radio, to take to social media, to discuss my party issues. I would always want to do that internally. The only time I have a challenge, when some actors, even internally, will not allow you to express their view in their sycophantic best, in their hypocritical best, they want to gag and even. That is where I have a problem. But party is an opportunity. Don't think you are the nicest person, you are the most hardworking person or anything. And so on that score, I want to commend Mr. Polafoko, the way he conducted himself, the way he carried himself, and then I wish them the very best of luck. Let the best emerge. They have a daunting task, even as I conclude. The elephant is so, bastardized. The elephant is so dirty. No well-meaning people want to associate and relate to the elephant in this current state. And so when they are taking office, definitely they will need at least some 8 years. You will dispute that, though. Some 8 years. Well, you can choose to dispute it, not to. The reality is there. You can go and conduct the research, and all the research that are conducted are point to the fact that what I'm saying, that the elephant in this current state, nobody wants to associate with it. Everybody sees it as a very destructive animal, as an animal that human beings don't want to relate with. And so those who will emerge as the national leader of the party has a huge responsibility to try to wash and clean the elephant, and that may take them some 8 to 12 years to do, to bring it to a stage where some people may not want to relate with it. I wish them all the very best.
At the end of the day, you find that undercurrents led to key issues that, importantly, people of high magnitude who had great influence in the MPP, perhaps not taking part in the so-called internal democratic processes of the party over the last 8 years. And Paul Afoko, you can say, is one of them. Now, for somebody like him to join the race also means that there could be some mixed reactions, whether he is going to have a personal vendetta, even though he hasn't exhibited that.
We ayan sama horo itimi course watch no so I'm not so jemre ewa dasene yebesen ehiem.